Welcome back, guys. This is a space where we talk about all things human. My name is Shadia and I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. If you're new here and happen to hear any weird noises. All right. Today we're going to be doing Gone Away by Five Finger Death Punch. This is not a blind reaction. I have heard this song before. I've seen the video before, but I can't tell you what's in it. It's been a really long time since I've seen the video. The song, I was listening to it actually just a few weeks ago. Anywho, with that being said, I am curious how I'm going to digest the song today in this way, providing feedback and perspective, because it is an older song, and I think that's one of the beautiful things about music is that it can kind of funnel through a very particular set of ears, given where we were in life at that point, and then we get older and we live that much longer, and sometimes that can shape how we once heard a song. So for that, I am curious doing this one with you guys. It was comment driven, and I did notice some comments about the military or veterans, and so I wanted to say thank you for your service. If you do happen to see this video, I can't imagine the worlds that you have experienced or endured, and the losses that you have experienced. I don't think there's any words that could even begin to cover that. So we are going to do Gone Away by Five Finger Death Punch and see where it takes us.
What's that?
3 KIA. That is confirmed. 3 KIA.
Maybe in another life I could find you there, pulled away before your time. I can't deal, it's so unfair, and it feels like heaven so far away. And it feels like the world has grown cold now that you've gone away.
One, his voice. I can never get enough of his voice. It is so good. I think that first line always hits right away, of just maybe in another life. I think a lot of people can resonate with that depending on their loss. You know, maybe in another life we're still sitting at the same table, right? Maybe in another life we're still sharing a drink, or maybe in another life we grew old together. It's just, finish the sentence, right? Maybe in another life we can't help but fantasize and think about what life could have been if this devastation never occurred. And particularly these kinds of losses, right? They're taken so very young with the whole rest of their life ahead of them. And it happens in just a second, right? Like a split second. And I could imagine from the mind's perspective of like, maybe if we had just done something different, or if you were just over here, like if this or if that or how, and it's then just also seeing it. I don't think people ever understand the gravity of that. If you've ever been around, that's gonna make me emotional. If you've ever been around a dead body before, if you've ever been around a very immense amount of blood, the smell of blood, and then add on top of that someone that you love. Like if you've never experienced that or know what that's like, it is haunting. It haunts you. So you add that on top of the mix. And then I love that line of heaven feels so far away, right? If I could just talk to you one more time, see you one more time, hold you one more time. Heaven feels like so far away. And then of course, visually, this video is very sensitive, very, I don't want to say the word triggering. I can't think of another word right now. Just, it's all the things. And where I had stopped it, it was just my final thought there was seeing them walk up. Like, you can already see it on their face. I can't imagine being a family, knowing that that's a very real possibility, and then seeing that walk. That must feel like the longest walk of your life, because you don't even have to say it. You can see it. And then the falling to your knees, like if you've ever experienced such pain, it literally makes you weak. It breaks every bit of you. And then the child, that's also something that sticks out to me a lot. It's like kids can only understand what they can understand. And then when they see that devastation around them, but her face of just like, huh? Like, what's happening? Like, what do you mean? I get so much. Please let me trade. I know I would. How powerful is that? To love so much, I'd rather take your place. Let me have experienced or have had your pain, your loss. Take me instead, so you could have been here living your life. And a part of that too, the living and the dead is, the living is the grieving. And sometimes that weight is so heavy, it leads us to that place as well of take my place. Yes, it comes from the best intention, right? A very righteous place, because I love you so much, but also I can't imagine, it's hard for me to fathom living the rest of my life holding so much pain. It's like this collision of just life and death, and it's just a very human thought to an unfortunately very real human experience that so many have had. Anyways, that's what took me there. But what was that line of like, I leave flowers or roses, I leave flowers at your grave to show that I care. For some people that feels very comforting, and it feels like all the things that they would want that to be. But then for a lot of people, it feels kind of performative, like I'm supposed to. And this is where they say to go to feel close to you or to have a conversation with you. And maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it depends on where we are in our life. Maybe it worked 2 months ago. Maybe it's not working now. Like, these are all just very real aspects of loss. But when we talk about cemeteries and grave sites and things like that, and I don't know, as a society, like, flowers is always like the appropriate thing to put, or little trinkets or whatnot. But I can very much understand when some people are like, it isn't comforting though, because when I look at that name, I still can't believe that the name I'm reading on that plot is what it is, or that's not you, this is not you, right? I remember you to be this person, this version of you. And I know some people believe in like an open casket at a funeral and like all those things, and other people do not believe in that. And you know, some people are like, I don't want that to be the last image that I see of them, or some people, I can't handle it. And all of it honestly is so okay with whatever you need. Like I said, the living and the dead, for the living, in order to grieve, it needs to be appropriate to you and not anybody else, because you will be the one that has to live with whatever choice you make as the living moving forward. So the flowers one, just that sticks out to me a lot, because I think sometimes people just have this assumption and they tell other people like this kind of expectation of like, this is what you do and you're supposed to do this, and hey, have you done da da da? And then it's like, but understand that for not everyone does that feel like the right thing, or that it may not be the most comforting thing. Anyways, just be mindful of how much grief is individualized to each person's experience. There's no one that should be casting their judgment as to what that should look like.
And it feels like heaven's so far away. And it stings, yeah, it stings now. The world is so cold now that you've gone away. Gone away, gone away. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah.
My brain is like, blah, blah, blah. Again, they're just living their life as they should live their life. And then to see that on the news, right? I guess we can assume like a war or something's happening and they're in the military. So did they sign up at that point or they were already in it? I'm sorry, I missed that piece of the video, but either or, that thought of like, it's time for us to do what our duty requires us to do, and that sinking feeling, it shows emotions on each of the men's faces. That's very profound, very powerful. And then their wives of like, I don't want you to go, like, da-da-da, and like, we hope for the best, of course, but there's still that real chance. And then, of course, you know, that happened.
So far away.
I have to pause. It's interesting that now that line of I wish we could trade, right? Because he said clear, right? Move forward. Didn't see, I don't know the technical language, a bomb, I don't know if it's a landmine or that in the road. And then that ended his friends' lives. So that adds so many layers to grief as is, right? Whether it's guilt, I messed up, I dropped it for just 1 second and it cost them their life. My friends, my best friends, my family, my brothers. And right, I leave flowers to show that I care. I wish it could be me. If we could trade, I would. Why didn't I step on it? I wish I stepped on it and that would have saved all of you. Like, it's just part of my emotion is because I also do have a very special veteran in my life who came into our life by complete chance. I mean, it's a wild, wild story. But I say that he is like my chosen family. It's how much he means to us. He's older. He's in his 60s now. But he shares his stories with us, and I always like to ask him questions and learn, and without divulging anything here, but there's moments where you'll be talking and you see him go somewhere else. And that's when I know to pause and just like let him be. And I've found in my life that apparently it's not something everyone notices, but you can notice, so they don't have to cry. You can notice someone's emotions by their eyes if you pay attention. I always, when I was little or younger, I always just expected, like, how do you not see that? And they're like, well, it's because not everybody does. Anyways, side tangent. He goes somewhere else, and I know it's a difficult place and a dark place, and then he comes back, and then we continue. And so that's part of where my brain went, also watching this today, and some of the thoughts because of the things I've heard from him. Yeah. Anything else there? No, I don't believe so. Okay, sorry.
And it feels, yeah, it feels like heaven so far away. And it stings, yeah, it stings now. The world is so cold now that you've gone away. Gone away, gone away, yeah.
Gosh, I keep saying I should have tissues in here. I'm so bad. I do this every video. Sorry, be gross with me. I've said this before, that I am involved in martial arts. I've been doing it for 10 years, and I have been around, not just the person that I spoke about, but I've been around a lot of veterans. I've been around a lot of active duty cops, firefighters, what else? There's a lot of people in different lines of duties that have experienced a lot in their respective fields. But anyways, martial arts, the science and the psychology of that, and then how good it is for our mental health, but also the things that we may battle, whatever. Seeing that he was toiling so much with his emotions, right? I mean, to that point where he was considering what he was considering, and then was like, no, and trying to defeat that feeling, the push-ups, the physical exertion, it's like anger. It's like just letting it out. And that's actually one of the beauties of martial arts, is hitting the bag, or pad work, or sometimes it's sparring when you have brothers or teammates, or girls do it too, obviously, but it's different when you have like the boys, and it's like, I'm having a rough day, or I'm going through this, like, well, let's fucking go, guys, let come on, just let it out. Like, it's something that maybe we just understand within our own little world, but there's so much science and beauty and whatever, psychology, human life that supports it. And so that piece is very important, actually, to note in this video, is that 1 second could have made all the difference there, and instead it was like something else, and he did that. And even if it's just enough to make that feeling pass, then it was just enough to make that feeling pass until we get to the next thing that we need to get to. And it can make a world of difference. And honestly, I know there's many things out there, but I know martial arts has saved many people's lives as well, which is why I'm such a proponent for it. Yeah.
Now that you've gone away.
Gone but never forgotten, 100%. And I'm sorry if I'm blanking, if he had lost 3 friends, hence the 3 bands, and then there was 3 men in front of him they seemingly looked young. So it's kind of like I don't know, just one of those full circle moments sometimes that we might have in art and telling this story, a very real story that many people go through. But whatever compelled him, that I'm going to re-enlist, and that is how I move through what I have gone through. That is maybe how I honor them, or honor whatever it is, or maybe that's just obligation, or whatever it is that has led him to making that decision. That is not an easy decision to make by any means, but it can be maybe exactly what he needed. And then that's why I said when he stepped out and he saw the 3 young men in front of him, of like, this is going to be different, or I hope this is going to be different, right? I'm going to protect them, or I'm going to do whatever, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many thoughts that might drive someone to want to work through what they've gone through. So that was an important bit in this video as well. I just love this band so much. His voice is such a gift, such a gift. I think that's why I've always loved them. It's like, you don't even have to like try to feel. If anyone's like, maybe, let's see what, no, you're gonna feel it in this man's voice. He is able to share human life in ways that's phenomenal, so good. And this song is obviously very difficult, but important. It's an important song, an important story, an important aspect of human life that we cannot forget, nor ever be desensitized to it, especially in the world today. There's so many things that I think we have just, I don't know, become really desensitized to or numb to, and this is definitely one of those areas. And I know in my family too, in generations prior, they have lived in war, they have seen war firsthand and have done what they have done. So I may never experience it firsthand myself. And so, yeah, this always happens to me every time I watch these videos that are quite emotional, and as they should. I always find myself towards the tail end, like I'll just like, I want to be quiet because I just want to feel it, and I just want to sit with it and process it with you guys, or, you know, if you don't mind just taking a pause with me, because I think that's, at least personally, I mean, these types of videos, but pain or sadness and all this stuff, it's just a way to connect back with what it means to be human, and connect with so many other people around the world that would understand you if you allowed them to sit with you, because that's why we all like these songs. That's why we like this music. It's why we want to watch videos like this with a stranger, right? And just kind of maybe cry with them or feel with them. And I love feeling, and I love sitting with every fiber of what it means to be a human being. There is always so much strength and power in our emotions if we just allow ourselves to be what we are, which is human. And like I said, there's different outlets that we might need from time to time. We don't always need to talk about it. We don't always need to like process it over and over and over. I mean, at some point, enough is enough, and actually does us no good to keep like sitting on something over and over cognitively. Sometimes we need to live with it or move through it. And sports, martial arts, I do Muay Thai, right? Sometimes we just want to move and feel it in a positive way, and that gives us so much. So or sometimes we just want to be a little cuddle bug and get cozy, and that's our way of comfort. But all right, I have talked far enough, too much right now for this song, but please keep the recommendations coming. I've mentioned in a prior video that I do have a list of songs that I'm going through. I am excited to get back into some of the Ren songs, so if you're here for those, stay tuned. We got some work to do over there. And as always, first and foremost, stay human.